Chosen one, open your eyes. The reality they hid from you. You may feel like everything you've been told, everything you've been shown, is the complete picture. But that's far from the truth. From the moment we are born, we are guided, subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, into believing a version of reality that serves the interests of others. Governments, corporations, media, and institutions have woven a complex web of information, distraction, and persuasion, designed to keep your awareness limited and your potential dormant. They want you to accept boundaries you were never meant to have, to follow paths that stifle the natural curiosity and brilliance that reside within you. But there are patterns, signs, and truths that are available to anyone willing to look beyond the veil. The signs are all around, in history, in the choices that shape society, in the moments that make your heart resonate with a sense of knowing that something is not quite right. The first step is awareness. To see the hidden realities is not to succumb to fear. It is to reclaim your power, to reclaim your ability to question, to discern, and to awaken fully into the life that you are meant to lead. Before we dive deeper, I want you to do something simple yet profound. Watch this video till the very end. Do not skip, do not rush. Let your mind be fully present. And as you do, take a moment to write in the comments your warmest wishes, those desires that stir something deep inside you, and include the number 66. This is not just a ritual. It is an act of alignment with the energy of the universe, a conscious invitation to energize the reality around you. Your words, your intentions, your focus, when combined with awareness, become like sparks that illuminate the pathways of possibility. Wishes, when expressed with clarity and intention, interact with the subtle currents of energy that shape experience. By sending them outward, you are participating in a force greater than yourself, a network of unseen connections that links all consciousness, all matter, all potential. You are not powerless. You are a conduit, a catalyst, a chosen vessel in the great unfolding of reality. The reality you have been presented with is carefully curated. From your earliest schooling to the daily headlines you consume, there is a consistent effort to frame your understanding within limits. You are taught to follow a predetermined narrative of what is possible, what is acceptable, and what is safe. But if you observe closely, you can see the cracks in the walls. There are anomalies, events that don't fit the mainstream story, discoveries that challenge what you thought you knew. These are not mere coincidences. They are breadcrumbs, subtle nudges guiding you to question, to investigate, to awaken the latent awareness within you. And awakening is not a passive act. It requires attention, courage, and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. The moment you begin to question the assumptions of your life, the moment you stop accepting information at face value, is the moment your true vision starts to emerge. Consider for a moment the structures that govern our societies. Many believe they exist to serve and protect the people, yet the underlying mechanisms often reveal a different truth. Policies, economic systems, social norms, they are frequently designed to consolidate power, maintain control, and create dependencies. Not every system or institution operates with malice, but the aggregate effect is a subtle limitation of freedom. To see this clearly, you must detach from the comfort of familiarity. You must observe without prejudice, allowing yourself to recognize patterns of influence, manipulation, and control. This is not paranoia. This is clarity. It is the natural response of an awakened mind, when confronted with the orchestrated layers of a hidden reality. Technology, too, is a double-edged sword. It has the capacity to liberate knowledge, to connect minds, and to expand awareness. Yet it is equally capable of constraining thought, tracking behavior, and shaping perceptions to align with external agendas. Social media, algorithms, targeted content, all are tools that can subtly manipulate your understanding of the world. You are constantly being fed filtered narratives, curated stories, and data streams designed to guide your attention in specific ways. Awareness of this mechanism is crucial. When you become conscious of these influences, you gain the freedom to choose, to filter, and to direct your focus intentionally rather than being unconsciously guided. The first step toward reclaiming autonomy is recognizing the forces acting upon your mind, often invisibly, often silently. There is another layer that is even more subtle: the manipulation of belief, of perception, of the stories we tell ourselves. Since childhood, you have been introduced to cultural, moral, and social constructs that shape your sense of reality. These narratives are often so ingrained that they feel undeniable, absolute, unchangeable. But upon closer inspection, they are not universal truths. They are frameworks designed to maintain cohesion, compliance, and predictability. Every person has the potential to step outside these frameworks, to explore alternative ways of understanding existence, and to tap into insights that the mainstream may discourage or even suppress. This requires courage, because stepping beyond the familiar invites doubt, isolation, and the challenge of navigating a world that often resists change. Yet it is also the doorway to true freedom. Hidden realities also manifest in the natural world, in ways that are often overlooked. Nature itself operates through complex systems of balance, energy, and interconnectedness. These systems are not random. They are intricate expressions of underlying principles that humanity is only beginning to comprehend. From the smallest particle to the vastness of the cosmos, there is order, intelligence, and resonance at work. Observing, meditating upon, and aligning with these principles can reveal truths that conventional education or media rarely touch upon. There is a subtle language in the universe, a frequency, a rhythm, a signal that can guide those who are attuned. Opening your perception to this language is a step toward reclaiming your sovereignty, your ability to navigate reality consciously. Even history, the record we often consider immutable, is filtered through layers of interpretation, omission, and reconstruction. Events are not always presented as they happened, and motivations are rarely fully disclosed. Understanding the hidden reality requires a discerning mind, capable of reading between lines, connecting disparate dots, and sensing what is implied but not overtly stated. The study of history from multiple perspectives, the questioning of accepted narratives, and the willingness to explore unconventional sources can uncover layers of reality that have been intentionally concealed. This is a form of intellectual awakening that parallels the spiritual and energetic awareness you are cultivating by engaging with this video. Fear is one of the most powerful tools used to obscure reality. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. It shapes decisions, limits potential, and enforces compliance with systems that benefit others more than yourself. By recognizing fear as a programmed response rather than an inherent truth, you begin to reclaim your power. Fear loses its ability to control you once it is observed, understood, and consciously transcended. The act of questioning, of seeking, of opening your eyes, is itself an antidote to fear. As you engage more deeply with the layers of hidden reality, you cultivate discernment, confidence, and the courage to act in alignment with truth rather than illusion. The physical world is intertwined with layers of subtle energy and consciousness. Everything you perceive, touch, and experience is influenced by forces that are often invisible, yet profoundly real. These forces shape outcomes, guide events, and interact with human thought and intention. Understanding these dynamics allows you to recognize that your actions, your focus, and your awareness are not isolated. They are threads in a vast tapestry of cause and effect. By tuning into these forces, by observing the subtleties, and by aligning your energy intentionally, you begin to participate consciously in the unfolding of reality rather than being a passive observer. This awakening is not about acquiring secret knowledge to wield against others or to gain material advantage. It is about reclaiming autonomy, awareness, and alignment with the deeper principles of existence. The reality that has been hidden is not meant to frighten you, but to liberate you. It is a call to see beyond superficial appearances, to recognize patterns, and to embrace the truth that consciousness and reality are intertwined in ways most people never explore. Every observation you make, every question you ask, every moment you pause to reflect, is a step deeper into the understanding of what is genuinely real. Even societal expectations and cultural norms are part of the veiled reality. From the careers we are guided toward to the relationships we are encouraged to pursue, there is a subtle shaping of desires and decisions that often goes unnoticed. Many accept these paths unquestioningly, believing that they are acting from personal choice. But when you begin to examine motivations, influences, and the systemic pressures around you, the illusion of autonomy becomes clear. Awareness is the first stage of liberation, seeing where influence begins and ends, where choice is genuine, and where it has been guided or constrained by invisible hands. Energy, intention, and perception are the cornerstones of the hidden reality. What you focus on, what you believe, and what you internalize interacts with forces beyond the tangible. Your mind is not merely a vessel for thought. It is an instrument capable of shaping probability, resonance, and connection. Understanding this is not mystical, it is practical. Recognizing the power of conscious focus allows you to begin navigating reality with deliberate intention, rather than drifting through a world shaped by external agendas. The veiled reality extends into dimensions that science is only beginning to explore. Quantum mechanics, consciousness studies, and the understanding of multidimensional interactions all hint at a universe far more intricate than conventional narratives admit. The connections between mind, matter, and energy are complex, subtle, and profoundly significant. Becoming aware of these connections is a process of expanding perception, questioning assumptions, and integrating understanding in a way that aligns experience with a broader truth. To truly awaken, one must commit to an ongoing practice of observation, reflection, and discernment. There are no shortcuts, no simple formulas, only a sustained willingness to see clearly, to question relentlessly, and to act consciously. As you engage with this knowledge, as you reflect upon the hidden forces at play in your life and in society, you begin to develop a new clarity. This clarity is not just intellectual, it is visceral, intuitive, and deeply felt. It transforms the way you perceive the world, the way you interact with others, and the way you navigate your own existence. The deeper you look, the more you begin to realize that control is rarely overt. It is not always enforced with force or coercion. More often, it is subtle, psychological, and systemic. The structures that surround you, education, media, social norms, economic systems, are designed to guide perception in ways that keep the status quo intact. They condition thought, shape desires, and establish acceptable frameworks of reality. Most people never notice because the conditioning is seamless, embedded into routines, habits, and the invisible rules that govern daily life. But when you start to observe critically, when you begin to question the narratives presented as unquestionable truths, cracks start to appear. And these cracks are not weaknesses, they are gateways. Language itself is a powerful tool for shaping reality. Every word you read, every phrase you hear, carries with it subtle implications, emotional triggers, and encoded suggestions. News headlines, advertising slogans, political rhetoric, all of these are carefully designed to elicit certain responses, to frame events in ways that guide thought. Even when you think you are independent in your opinions, the structures around you may have already influenced the way you perceive facts, assign meaning, and judge situations. Becoming aware of language as a tool of control is a key step toward reclaiming mental autonomy. The moment you recognize manipulation embedded in communication, you begin to take back the power to interpret, discern, and respond consciously rather than reactively. Media, in particular, has an extraordinary impact on perception. What is broadcast, highlighted, or omitted shapes your sense of reality. Certain stories are amplified while others vanish into obscurity. Certain perspectives are normalized while alternative viewpoints are ridiculed or dismissed. This is not always the result of intentional conspiracy. Often, it is systemic, structural, and self-reinforcing. But the effect is the same: a limited perception of what is possible, true, or real. Awareness of these filters allows you to see beyond them, to seek sources that are not designed to mold your thinking, and to develop a capacity to discern truth independently. This is not easy. It requires patience, courage, and a willingness to navigate discomfort, because awakening often means challenging assumptions that have long felt safe or familiar. Economic systems also play a profound role in shaping behavior and perception. From early schooling to adult employment, from social expectations to consumer culture, there are subtle incentives and penalties designed to guide choices. Debt, scarcity, competition, and social comparison are woven into the fabric of daily life. These mechanisms do not merely influence financial behavior. They influence priorities, identity, and the sense of what is achievable. Many accept these limitations unconsciously, believing them to be natural or inevitable. But when you begin to examine the structures themselves, when you understand the mechanisms by which scarcity is manufactured, competition enforced, and dependency cultivated, you start to see how deeply control is embedded in the system. Understanding these patterns is not merely intellectual, it is liberating. It allows you to begin operating from awareness rather than habit, to recognize opportunities that the conventional mind might dismiss, and to reclaim a sense of agency in shaping your own life. Education is another subtle but pervasive influence. From the earliest years, curricula are designed to shape thought in very specific ways. Critical thinking is often limited to certain contexts. Creativity is channeled toward prescribed goals, and questioning authority is discouraged. While the system appears neutral, the underlying effect is the molding of perception. Students are taught to absorb information, conform to standards, and accept narratives that maintain social cohesion. Rarely are they encouraged to explore ideas that radically challenge the dominant framework, to question the very assumptions on which the system is built, or to develop consciousness in ways that transcend the expected. Recognizing this limitation is essential for those who wish to awaken fully, because it reveals that the very foundation of what is considered knowledge may have been curated to maintain control rather than to empower understanding. The mechanisms of hidden influence extend beyond institutions to interpersonal dynamics. Social conditioning, peer pressure, and cultural expectations shape behavior in ways that often go unnoticed. Conformity is rewarded. Deviation is punished, whether overtly or subtly. Family structures, friendship groups, and community norms all reinforce the frameworks that maintain the illusion of freedom while subtly guiding thought, desire, and perception. Awareness of these patterns requires vigilance, introspection, and a willingness to recognize when your choices are truly your own versus when they are influenced by collective expectation. This is a delicate, sometimes uncomfortable process, because it can challenge relationships, social identity, and deeply held beliefs. Yet it is precisely in this process of discernment that freedom begins to emerge. There are layers of energy and resonance that most people never consciously perceive. Emotions, thoughts, and intentions are not confined to the individual. They interact with the larger field of collective consciousness. The energy you carry, whether fear, hope, love, or anger, has ripple effects beyond your immediate awareness. Hidden reality includes the understanding that every choice, every emotional reaction, contributes to a larger system of influence. By cultivating awareness, mindfulness, and intentionality, you begin to see how personal states of consciousness can amplify or mitigate the effects of external control. This awareness is empowering because it reveals that even in systems designed to influence, there is space for conscious intervention, for redirection, and for the active shaping of outcomes. History, too, carries concealed layers. Beyond what is commonly taught, there are threads of events, movements, and decisions that have been omitted, rewritten, or manipulated to maintain certain perceptions of reality. Leaders, institutions, and movements that defy mainstream narratives are often marginalized, misrepresented, or erased from popular memory. By exploring history critically, considering multiple perspectives, and questioning what has been left unsaid, you uncover hidden connections, patterns, and forces that have shaped the world in ways you may never have imagined. This is not merely academic. It is the unveiling of the mechanisms by which power, influence, and control are exerted across generations. Awareness of these dynamics equips you to see patterns in current events, social trends, and cultural shifts that most people overlook. Science, often considered an objective lens, is also shaped by human systems, priorities, and agendas. Research is funded, disseminated, and applied within frameworks that reflect existing power structures. Discoveries that challenge entrenched beliefs may be ignored or suppressed. Paradigms that support systemic control are reinforced through education, professional incentives, and peer consensus. This does not negate the validity of scientific inquiry, but it highlights that even the pursuit of knowledge is embedded within broader structures of influence. Awareness of these dynamics encourages discernment, critical thinking, and the pursuit of understanding beyond conventional boundaries. Hidden reality is also reflected in the way time, attention, and energy are manipulated. Modern life is designed to fragment focus, distract the mind, and maintain constant engagement with superficial stimuli. Endless notifications, continuous entertainment, and perpetual consumption create a state of mental fatigue that limits depth of thought, awareness, and self-reflection. By recognizing the intentionality behind these distractions, by reclaiming attention and cultivating periods of stillness, you regain the ability to think critically, observe clearly, and perceive the layers of reality that are typically masked by constant stimulation. Silence, reflection, and conscious attention become revolutionary acts in the context of a world designed to divide, distract, and control. The hidden reality also interacts with perception of self. Identity, self-worth, and potential are not just personal, they are socially constructed, influenced by systems, media, and cultural narratives. Most people accept these constructions unconsciously, defining themselves through comparison, limitation, and externally imposed definitions. Yet, at the core, consciousness is far more fluid, expansive, and powerful than these imposed definitions suggest. Awakening to hidden reality involves reclaiming self-perception, recognizing your innate capacity, and seeing that the constructs you were taught to accept are not absolute truths. They are frameworks designed to guide, limit, and influence. This realization opens the door to self-mastery, authentic expression, and conscious participation in the unfolding of your life. The journey into hidden reality is also a journey into perception itself. What you perceive is not always what exists. It is filtered, interpreted, and influenced by layers of conditioning, expectation, and collective influence. By cultivating awareness, mindfulness, and critical observation, you begin to see the difference between perception and reality, between conditioned thought and genuine insight. This differentiation is crucial because it allows you to navigate the world with clarity, freedom, and intentionality rather than being guided unconsciously by patterns designed by others. As you continue to awaken to the hidden layers of reality, one of the most profound realizations is that consciousness itself is far more expansive than you may have been led to believe. Your mind is not just a processor of information, but a field of perception, influence, and potential. Thoughts, beliefs, and intentions are not contained within you. They radiate, interact, and resonate with the larger field of existence. What you focus on, what you nurture mentally and emotionally, reverberates across unseen networks of energy. This is why the simple act of becoming aware of your own consciousness is revolutionary. Awareness itself is a form of power. The more conscious you become of your thoughts, your emotions, and your perceptions, the more you begin to realize that reality is not just happening to you. It is unfolding with you, through you, and sometimes because of you. Hidden forces operate both externally and internally. Externally, systems of control guide, influence, and shape collective perception. Internally, your own beliefs, fears, and conditioned responses serve as invisible frameworks that govern your choices, reactions, and sense of possibility. Most people live their entire lives unaware that their internal landscape is constantly interacting with external pressures, shaping decisions and outcomes in ways that feel inevitable. Awakening involves recognizing both dimensions, the influence of the world around you and the power of the world within you. Once this recognition occurs, a subtle but profound shift happens. You move from being a passive participant in life to an active co-creator of experience. One of the most insidious aspects of hidden reality is the manipulation of perception itself. What you see, hear, and feel is always filtered through layers of conditioning. These layers are subtle, often invisible, and designed to ensure that most people accept the world as it is presented without question. Reality is not only about facts or events. It is about interpretation, context, and meaning. Two people can witness the same occurrence and experience entirely different realities based on the filters they carry within them. These filters are not accidental. They are cultivated through socialization, culture, education, and experience. To awaken fully, you must learn to recognize your filters, question their origin, and examine whether they serve your highest truth or simply perpetuate the illusions imposed by external forces. Energy is a critical and often overlooked aspect of hidden reality. Your emotional and mental states create vibrational patterns that interact with the universe. Fear, anger, attachment, and anxiety resonate differently than love, clarity, and intention. Most people are unconsciously caught in cycles of reactive energy, responding to stimuli and feeding into patterns that reinforce control, limitation, and disconnection. Awareness of this dynamic allows you to shift your energy deliberately, creating resonance that aligns with the realities you wish to experience rather than the ones you have been conditioned to accept. Energy is not mystical. It is a force that governs interaction, cohesion, and the unfolding of events in ways science is beginning to measure, even if mainstream culture is slow to acknowledge it. By consciously observing, directing, and refining your energy, you step into a position of empowerment. Each thought, each emotion, each intention becomes a tool for shaping the world around you rather than being passively shaped by it. The universe responds not only to what you do, but to the quality of energy you project. When you cultivate clarity, focus, and harmony within yourself, you create ripples that extend beyond your immediate experience, influencing circumstances, interactions, and opportunities in ways that are subtle yet profound. In this way, mastering your energy is not just personal. It is a key to engaging with reality on a deeper, more authentic level, allowing you to navigate life with awareness, intention, and true freedom.